I'm Mark Silverthorn. I hope you enjoyed this video. Today we're going to talk about who are these bill collectors calling me. There's basically 4 different categories of bill collectors in terms of who they're employed by. There's 2 types of bill collectors who are employed by creditors, and these would be bill collectors employed by your original creditor, and your original creditor is the firm that provided you with goods, services, or credit. And then there's also bill collectors who are employed by debt buyers. And debt buyers are firms that purchase accounts that were previously owned by original creditors. We've also got bill collectors who are employed by collection agents. And there are 2 types of collection agents. There are collection agencies, and then there are collection law firms. Now, I'd like to talk about the qualifications to be a bill collector, and they're virtually nil. You've got to be an adult. I know that there are bill collectors who have criminal records, so having a criminal record is no bar to becoming a bill collector. There's no educational requirement, and in most jurisdictions, there's no examination to become a bill collector. Now, what some firms that employ collectors will do is they'll have some kind of a training program. Most bill collectors are paid a base salary, and they're on some kind of a bonus or a commission system. Now, if you're a collector, you're probably given a queue of somewhere between 1 and 300 unpaid accounts to collect over a certain period of time. And if you don't do a good job at collecting those accounts, then you're probably going to be fired. If you do a good job, then at the end of the month, you're probably going to get a very lucrative commission check to go on top of your regular salary. The job of a bill collector is essentially a commission salesperson. What a collector is trying to do is to sell the consumer on the idea that the consumer needs to pay that particular creditor's unpaid account. Now, the consumer has other things that they could spend the money on. And so it's the collector's job to make sure that the consumer is paying that particular debt at the very top of the consumer's list in terms of things to be paid. And what collectors will do is they'll use a variety of psychological techniques in terms of motivating a consumer to pay an account. Now, there's essentially 2 ways to do it. You either use the stick approach, which is more common, or you use the carrot approach. What most collectors do is they use the stick approach, and the interaction with the consumer is an unpleasant one. And the rationale for doing this is the collector wants the interaction to be unpleasant so that the consumer is motivated to pay the outstanding account to stop these unpleasant interactions. So there's a reason why collectors make these phone calls unpleasant. In my book, Wolf at the Door, I give this one example where a collector had phoned up a woman and indicated that he was sending the sheriff around to their house at around 5 o'clock, and that she was to put all of her the television on all the electronics products and their DVD and their stereo, put it out in the front yard. Right. So when the sheriff came by at 5 o'clock, that the sheriff would come and take it. Well, they'd never sued the person.
Right.
They had no right to do this. And so the husband comes home at 5 o'clock and he sees all this out in the front yard. The problem with collectors using the stick approach is that they'll often break the law in terms of engaging in harassing or abusive behavior, which is illegal under provincial law. Now, there's a small percentage of collectors who take a different approach. They use the carrot approach, and they present themselves as being in the consumer's corner and trying to help them deal with the situation. And there are some collectors who are very successful at collecting monies from consumers using the carrot approach. Hi, I'm Mark from Debt Coach Silverthorn, and we'd like to get your feedback in terms of what some of our future YouTube topics should be. Draw from your pain and your own experience and let us know. I mean, for example, how to stop collection calls, or the top 10 tactics for protecting your assets and income from your creditors. But please let us know what kind of topics you would like us to cover in some of our upcoming YouTube videos. Thanks.